Helper is a city to watch here in Carbon County, one that's seen a lot of changes over the years, changes ushered in by the community's vibrant art scene. What drew you to Helper?
Actually, my partner is an artist, and she came down here and just fell in love with the community back in 2012 when it was empty. Main Street, was abandoned buildings and really sort of in a derelict position. And in just 5 years, the changes have been amazing.
Nestled in carbon-rich East Central Utah, the city of Helper historically served as a railroad hub. Miners extracted coal from nearby mines, then shipped the product on rail cars. The rail cars started here, where the Price River flows, and journeyed on to move coal from the valley floor so it could fuel the Intermountain West. Helper was named for the locomotive staged at the base of Price Canyon. The extra engines helped trains climb the steep grade of Price Canyon to Soldiers Summit. Helper's cultural tapestry is woven by the town's immigrant population. The rail and mining industries of the late 19th and early 20th centuries attracted newcomers who were searching for jobs. At its peak, Helper's population spoke 27 different languages. Fueled by coal and the railroads, Helper's Main Street thrived for many decades. But by the 1990s, economic forces left its historic Main Street in a state of disrepair.
A couple of U of U professors stumbled upon Helper in the mid-90s. That's Dave Dornan, Paul Davis, and John Erickson. And they wandered through this town, which at that point was in a downhill slide, and actually negotiated with the city to buy a building, and it cost them all of 12 grand because that's the state we were in at that time. Because they were U of U professors, art professors, they'd bring their students down for workshops.
One of those students was Ben Steele, who is now a national artist who calls Helper home.
I always go on and search for old colored pencils, crayon boxes. Right, this was just in a recent painting.
Oh, what?
The vintage box of crayons. And we came down here and studied with Dave Dornan, and he was doing this. That was kind of the obvious playbook of here's how it works, like the actual functioning artist life. Unfortunately, the coal mining railroad history, the railroad still functions, but the coal mines are basically gone. The future for coal doesn't look bright by all accounts here. So the history of the town's amazing. As a future, it doesn't look like that. That future has been slowly dying for a long time. And so it can still be an amazing presence. It's like our murals on the building. Here's what the town was. Here's kind of what the town is. And we like both of those things. I can do art and go hike the dog in the hills and commute can be 1 minute. Yeah, that works for me.
One of the things that Helper offers artists is the ability to work for hours without huge distraction, and also an opportunity to live an economically doable situation so you can really focus on developing your art.
Ann Morgan Jesperson is an artist and gallery owner who champions Helper with the Helper Project, which aims to preserve and promote Helper.
I was wondering if, why there were so many artists coming out here and if they were able to find just inspiration from all of the cool rustic areas and the history that's here.
The history is so deep with the mining and the railroad and the immigrant population. It's profound. But it's also located in this nest of book cliffs with the beautiful plateaus leading down to the LaSalle Mountains. And visually, it is incredibly stimulating. And then as a community, we're different than most rural towns in Utah in that we have this incredible historic Main Street. We would like to see that preserved.
Many of Helper's historic buildings have been renovated, including the iconic Conoco Station at the south end of Main Street, owned by Gary DeVincent.
And where are we at, Gary?
Helper, Utah.
But where are we at right here?
Famous, no, the Conoco Station. It's just an old Conoco Station that got restored a couple years ago. Seeing this, it just seemed like it needed to be restored. There was just something nagging about it, you know, leaving it in a kind of a decrepit mode. Because I'm sure it would have gotten demolished at some point. Once it was started, it just took a life of its own. The more people that came in from, you know, locals telling you stories and things about it, it just made it more fun, because then there was this history. But to have a place like here, Helper, to sit, it's quiet. It's just different, you know. I really think that's what makes this whole area special.
In fact, just about everyone here is doing their part to keep Helper sustainable.
What would you say is the heartbeat of Helper?
If I had to pick one thing, I would say it's the people.
Have you got any favorite colors out here?
You can feel that the community has hope for our future. If we as a community have hope, there's absolutely nothing that can stop us from achieving all these wonderful things we've been working towards.
So with the history, culture, and the arts, there's a lot of hope in Helper right now.
Funding for This Is Utah is provided by the Willard L. Eccles Foundation, the Utah Office of Tourism, the George S. and Dolores Dory Eccles Foundation, the Lawrence T. and Janet T. D. Foundation, and the contributing members of PBS Utah. Thank you.